So when I was asking questions to get the data points that I needed to support me on my journey to make a better decision to move through this thing called life, I was told I was doing too much. I was asking too many questions. I don't it does not take all of that to get a solution. If you are built like me, hey now, how is everybody doing? Welcome to Red Alert Diaries with Tanya E. Hood. I'm glad I get the chance to see you. And today, I want to share a little bit of insight for some of you that may have gone through some elements of my past. A lot of you already know that I got married at 21. And after 11 years of marriage, I found myself going through a divorce, having raised my two sons alone. At the end of that marriage, I discovered that I lost me. I don't know how many of you have gone through a traumatic experience where at the end of that journey, you finally look back and you recognize the fact that you no longer know you. You no longer recognize elements of your being and you no longer have the oomph for life that you once did. It was there that I found myself in a position that I had to make some adjustments. And some of the things that I had to really come to a conclusion with was I couldn't do it on my own. A lot of you know I have a basic belief that the only reason we were born on this planet is to help one another. So we were never, never designed to function alone. But when we are walking in the middle of our turmoil, sitting in the midst of our mess, we often think that we've got to do that on our own because we don't know the words to share. We don't know how to put some of those characteristics and the behavior and the elements that we walk through into some sort of format that somebody else can understand. Because if you have not walked in my shoes, I cannot tell you how much my feet hurt. If you have not walked through my journey, I can't really explain to enough capacity where I think you understand my hurt, especially if you were in a relationship. You gave everything that you had in it. You are now looking in the face of someone that you once loved, wondering what happened to us? How did we get so far away from who we used to be? If you did what I did, you discovered some of that was because you never knew who you were. So you were morphing yourself and adjusting yourself and trying to figure it out. And when you finally landed in the middle of who you naturally are, they didn't like it or you didn't like them. But either way, there was a disconnect because you were never truly who you were supposed to be. And you didn't know how to define it. You didn't know what to do with getting the insight about it. That is where I found myself in the aftermath of my divorce. So I went on a journey and went on a journey to discover Tanya, went on a journey to get a little more insight. And I want to encourage those of you, if you can go to a therapist, find one. I am so glad when I see so many of the different things that are advertising, get therapy, get help, seek someone to talk to. It is great. And I'm thankful for those of you that join me on this podcast as I share elements of my being that connects with elements of yours. We can be a support system, but I can only give you so much in this one-way dialogue. For those of you that join me on the other side, getting the opportunity to participate in the courses that I share, the live events that I participate in, and calling me on occasions. There are a few of you that are inside of a group that I support, and I'm glad I get the chance to have more of a dialogue with you. But there's still deeper learning, deeper insight, more knowledge I would love to impart. So occasionally, I open up an opportunity for those that choose to do so to participate with me in a masterclass. I'm going to talk a little bit more about a free class I'm going to share later this month. But for right now, I want to give you something, something you already know, give you something that you can use today. Some individuals that may have gone through my traumatic experience, you are the loving, supportive individual. You gave everything that you had in that relationship because it's just naturally who you are. You've always been the person that knew I got to help them. I got to do what I can. And the partner that you were with started off as a project and you tried to morph and make them into who you envisioned them to be. I discovered that people have got to decide on their own who they want to be. And if you find that you were giving so much and doing so much and pouring so much in that it put you into a position where you felt like, is this really what I'm supposed to do? Because your gifting was being abused, your gifting was being misused. You started to think, I don't want to help nobody do nothing. Not another person better come and ask me anything. Don't let that happen to you. When I found myself in a position where the part of me that constantly gave, because there was a people pleaser stuck in the midst of my soul. So I gave more than I had to give because I was trying, found myself in a position where I was constantly accommodating bad behavior. I accommodated it because I wanted to be loved. I accommodated it to try to show that other individual that I love you. And because I love you, I will take on some of the abuse that I know I shouldn't receive. I will take on some of the angst that I know is crushing me. But I do that. I do that because I want you to know that you are loved. And it is my way of trying to let you hopefully see me, see that I love you, and one day pour back into me. Some of you may have heard me share because I had to go back and remember this lesson. My great grandmother told me that, baby, you are always supposed to keep your cup filled. When you give to the world, you give from your saucer. I poured from my cup because my saucer was empty. And I poured and I poured and I poured so much that my cup ran dry. It is when we find ourselves in a position that we have run dry emotionally that we give up on life. We give up on love. We give up on a whole bunch of things we should not be giving up on, including ourselves. So if you find yourself like I did one day, in a fetal position on the bathroom floor of my two-bedroom apartment, that undiagnosed depression almost crushed me because you are not supposed to go through traumatic experiences alone. Now, trust me, I do understand. Not everybody can handle all the stuff that you carry. Some of us carry so much in our soul, so much in our beings. People that look at us are wondering, you have got to have some special superpower. Well, you do. But it's some of those things that you are carrying, they're not even yours. Because of your loving heart, because of your giving support of self, you're carrying somebody else's baggage and it is breaking you. I want to show you how. I want to give you some steps, some tools and strategies that I have learned because I had to walk through that path and start unloading some of the baggages that I was carrying from other individuals in my world. I had to figure out a way to put the levels of relationship in place that would support me. Those of you that work with me, you know what I'm talking about. Those of you that have not yet worked with me, well, I'm going to talk in a few moments of giving you an opportunity of what I'm talking about so that we can have a deeper discussion. But I want to talk to the next set of individuals that probably walk through this other element of my journey. You see, I'm a nerd and I don't mind the word because I realize that in this day and age, we are really careful with our terminology, but you can say nerd because the word nerd, a lot of you have a clear understanding of the connotations that that brings. And I know that my natural, logical, analytical mind is not understood by everybody around me. So when I was asking questions to get the data points that I needed to support me on my journey to make a better decision to move through this thing called life, I was told I was doing too much. I was asking too many questions. I don't, it does not take all of that to get a solution. If you are built like me, you need to have some elements, but you also need to be mindful about how you process. I learned how to get the data that I needed, support the people that were around me, and still move through my journey with ease. If you are that natural, logical, process-oriented person like myself, and you want to be able to do what you do and still let the people around you know that you are loving them. When you go silent, you're not going silent because you're trying to ghost them. You're not going silent because you're trying to ignore them. It is a part of your process. And I have a way of giving you some ideas about how to help those that are around you support you on the journey. And now, another group of you. are kind of the natural leaders, the go-getters, those individuals that stand in the middle and move everybody around you towards the goal. If you are that person, yeah, I'm talking to you too. Because these elements, we contain all of them. Some of them we pull on a little more than others in the middle of our journey. But if you find that people are trying to say you're doing too much because you're too assertive, all you're trying to do is reach the goal. You just want them to be better. But the way that you are going about it is isolating you. It's making people think you're too mean, you're too aggressive, and I don't want to be around you. Then you find yourself in a position where you're by yourself, thinking that you're leading, and then feeling like you have to prod everybody to move to a better direction because you see the pitfalls. You know where they're failing, and you are just trying to help. I have some strategies that I've learned because along the way, I've had to go through these various elements of my being. In the aftermath of my divorce, I did an autopsy on Tanya. And when I discovered the pieces of me, I found out how I truly function. Because if some of you have listened, you know I said there's only two environments that we are in when things are going well or when we're in conflict. And if you find yourself in either one of those, there are strategies that can support you. Ways when things are going well to let your gifts so shine. Ways when you find yourself in conflict on how to get out of it quickly. So, on March 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I am hosting a free 90-minute masterclass where I give you some insights, some tips, some tools, and strategies that can support you in your journey. Because if you're anything like me and you have gone through the hell and chaos of divorce have put you in, you may not want to do that thing called marriage again. You may feel like I'm done. I can't do this, but I want to encourage you. Don't let that moment steal from you the elements of your being, the parts of you that are loving, the parts of you that are giving, the parts of you that are built for legacy. Don't let the past hold you hostage so your future cannot get the best of who you are at the core of your being. Because of what I'm going to share on March 21st, I rediscovered elements of Tanya, rebuilt some parts of my past that brought me pain, cleared out some of the mess that was holding me hostage. And now, for those of you that desire, y'all already know, there is life after divorce. I'm now in my new marriage, celebrating 13 years strong this year, and I'm still moving through the journeys because I have often shared marriage. Marriage is hard, but it does not have to be difficult. And if you find yourself in some of the difficulties, there's some strategies. And I'm going to walk through those strategies so that you can navigate life after divorce. That's the name of the course as well. Navigating Life After Divorce. So March 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I encourage you to join me. Tap into the link that's below. It'll give you the opportunity to be able to connect with me a little bit better. And we can enjoy the journey, discover what's needed to support you in your next direction. And so for today, if you don't remember anything else that I've shared, here's the one thing I want you to know. There is life after divorce. There are tools and strategies that you can use. And I want you to join me on the journey, March 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we can continue the conversation live here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we can continue the conversation or we can start a new one. In the meantime, this is Tanya E. Hood, walking in my purpose, and I want you to do the same.